AITA for not letting my sister borrow my car. I have a car that I bought with my own money. I use it for work and other personal errands. My sister does not have a car and relies on public transportation or rides from friends and family. She has a driver's license, but she is not very good at driving and has been in several minor accidents before. Last week, she asked me if she could borrow my car for a day. She said she had an important appointment and needed a reliable way to get there. I asked her what the appointment was, and she said it was none of my business. I told her that I was not comfortable lending her my car because I did not trust her driving skills and I did not want to risk any damage to my car. She got angry and called me selfish and stingy. She said that I was the only one who could help her and that I should be more supportive of her. She also said that she would pay for any gas or repairs if anything happened. I still refused because I felt that she was being rude and entitled. She then stormed off and slammed the door. Later, I found out from my mom that the appointment was actually a job interview that she had been preparing for a long time. She said that my sister had missed the bus and had to take a taxi, which made her late and flustered for the interview. She said that my sister did not get the job and blamed me for ruining her chance. She said that I was an asshole for not helping my sister when she needed me. I feel bad for my sister, but I also feel like I had the right to say no to lending her my car. It is my property and I have to take care of it. I also think that she should have been more honest and respectful with me when she asked me. Ida?
AITA for refusing to pay for my girlfriend's hair salon visit. So, my girlfriend and I have been dating for about a year and a half. We live together in a nice apartment in the city. I work as a software engineer and make a decent salary, while she works as a waitress and barely makes enough to cover her half of the rent. She has always been insecure about her appearance, especially her hair, which is naturally curly and frizzy. She spends a lot of time and money on hair products, straighteners, curlers, etc. to make it look better. Last week, she told me that she wanted to go to a fancy hair salon and get a keratin treatment, which is supposed to make her hair smoother and shinier. She said it would cost $300 and asked me if I could pay for it. I was shocked and said no way. I told her that $300 was way too much for a hair treatment and that she should be happy with her natural hair. I also told her that she should save her money for more important things, like paying off her student loans or contributing more to our household expenses. She got really upset and started crying. She said that I was being selfish and unsupportive, and that I didn't care about her happiness. She said that the hair treatment would make her feel more confident and beautiful, and that it was a one-time thing. She also said that I could afford it since I make more money than her, and that it was unfair that I spent money on things like video games and gadgets, but not on her. I told her that she was being unreasonable and entitled, and that I had the right to spend my money on whatever I wanted. I also told her that she was being superficial and vain, and that she should focus on improving her personality instead of her appearance. I said that if she really wanted the hair treatment, she should pay for it herself or ask someone else. She stormed out of the apartment and went to stay with her friend. She hasn't talked to me since then, except to text me that she hates me and that I'm the worst boyfriend ever. She also posted about our fight on social media, and now all of her friends and family are calling me an asshole and telling me to apologize to her. I don't think I did anything wrong. It's my money and I can do whatever I want with it. I don't owe her anything. She should be grateful that I even date her, since she's not that attractive or smart. She should learn to love herself instead of relying on expensive treatments to boost her self-esteem. So, Reddit, AITA?
AITA for eating my roommate's food without asking. So I live with my roommate who is a vegan. She always cooks her own food and stores it in the fridge. I usually order takeout or eat instant noodles, but sometimes I get bored of that and want to try something different. One day, I came home from work and saw that she had made some kind of salad with tofu, quinoa, kale, and avocado. It looked pretty good, so I decided to take some and eat it. I didn't think it was a big deal, since she had plenty left and it was just vegetables anyway. Well, she came home later and saw that I had eaten some of her food. She freaked out and started yelling at me. She said that I had no right to touch her food without asking, that it was rude and disrespectful, and that I owed her money for the ingredients. She also said that I had ruined her diet plan because she had measured out the portions and calories for each meal. I was shocked by her reaction. I told her that she was overreacting, that it was just food, and that she should be happy that I was trying to eat healthier. I also told her that she was being selfish because she never offered to share her food with me or asked me if I wanted to join her for dinner. I said that she should be more considerate of me, since we are roommates and friends. She got even more angry and said that I was being an asshole, that I had no idea how hard it was to be a vegan, and that I should respect her lifestyle choices. She said that I was not her friend, but a bad roommate who only cared about himself. She stormed off to her room and slammed the door. I don't think I did anything wrong. It's not like I ate all of her food or something. It was just a small portion of salad. And it's not like she ever asked me if I wanted to eat with her or share her food. She always kept it to herself and acted like it was some kind of secret treasure. I think she is being unreasonable and childish. So Reddit, AITA for eating my roommate's food without asking.
Women of Reddit, what scary experience changed you?
I was 19 and living alone in a small apartment in a big city. I had just moved there for college and I was still getting used to the place. One night, I was coming back from a late class and I decided to take the subway instead of the bus. It was around 10 p.m. and the station was almost empty. I got on the train and sat down in a corner seat. There were only a few other people in the car, mostly men. I put on my headphones and started listening to some music. I was feeling tired and bored, so I closed my eyes for a moment. When I opened them again, I saw a man sitting across from me. He was staring at me with a creepy smile on his face. He had long, greasy hair and a dirty beard. He was wearing a stained jacket and ripped jeans. He looked like he hadn't showered in weeks. He noticed that I saw him and he winked at me. He mouthed something that I couldn't hear, but I guessed it was something vulgar. He reached into his pocket and pulled out something shiny. It looked like a knife. He pointed it at me and made a slashing gesture with his hand. I felt a surge of fear and panic. I wanted to scream, but no sound came out of my mouth. I looked around for help, but no one seemed to notice what was happening. The other passengers were either asleep or looking at their phones. The train was moving fast and there was no way to get off until the next stop. I felt trapped and helpless. I didn't know what to do. I thought he was going to kill me or worse. I wished someone would save me or that this was just a nightmare. Then, something unexpected happened. The train suddenly stopped and the lights went out. There was a loud bang and a flash of sparks. The car shook violently and everyone screamed. I heard glass breaking and metal twisting. The man with the knife flew out of his seat and hit the ceiling. He dropped his weapon and it slid under the seat. I realized that the train had crashed into something. I didn't know what it was, but I didn't care. I saw this as my chance to escape. I grabbed my backpack and ran towards the door. It was jammed, but I managed to force it open with some effort. I stepped out of the car and saw smoke and flames everywhere. There were people lying on the ground, bleeding and moaning. There were sirens and shouts in the distance. I didn't stop to look at anything. I just ran as fast as I could, away from the train, away from the man, away from the horror. I don't know how long I ran or where I ended up. All I know is that I eventually found a police officer who helped me get to a hospital. They told me that the train had collided with another one that was on the wrong track. They said it was a miracle that anyone survived. I don't know what happened to the man with the knife or if he ever got caught. I never saw him again, but I still have nightmares about him sometimes. That experience changed me forever. It made me realize how fragile life is and how quickly it can end. It made me appreciate every moment and every person that matters to me. It also made me afraid of subways.
People of Reddit, what do you need to tell us?
I need to tell you how I almost became a professional basketball player but got a bad injury that ruined my career. I was always passionate about basketball since I was a kid. I played in my school team, then in college, and I was one of the best players in my state. I had a lot of offers from different universities, but I chose the one that had the best basketball program and coach. I was determined to make it to the NBA someday. I worked hard every day, practicing, studying, and improving my skills. I was a point guard, and I had a great vision, speed, and shooting ability. I could score from anywhere on the court, and I could also set up my teammates for easy baskets. I was a leader on and off the court, and I had a lot of fans and friends who supported me. I had a great season in my junior year, averaging 25 points, 8 assists, and 4 steals per game. I led my team to the finals of the NCAA tournament, where we faced the defending champions. It was a close game, and we were down by 1 point with 10 seconds left. I had the ball in my hands, and I saw an opening in the defense. I drove to the basket, hoping to score the winning layup or draw a foul, but then, everything went wrong. As I was about to jump, I felt a sharp pain in my left knee. It felt like someone stabbed me with a knife. I collapsed to the floor, clutching my knee and screaming in agony. The referee blew the whistle and stopped the game. The crowd went silent, and my teammates rushed to my side. The other team's players looked shocked and concerned. I was carried off the court on a stretcher, and taken to the hospital. The doctors told me that I had torn my ACL, MCL, and meniscus. They said it was one of the worst knee injuries they had ever seen, and that I would need surgery and months of rehabilitation. They also said that I might never play basketball again. I was devastated. All my dreams and hopes were shattered in an instant. I felt like I had lost everything that mattered to me. I fell into a deep depression, and isolated myself from everyone. I didn't want to talk to anyone, not even my family or friends. I didn't want to watch any basketball games, or even think about the sport that I loved so much. I spent the next year recovering from my injury, but I never regained my full strength or mobility. I tried to play again, but I was a shadow of my former self. I couldn't run as fast, jump as high, or shoot as well as before. I lost my confidence and my edge. I knew that I would never make it to the NBA. I decided to quit basketball for good, and focus on other things in life. I graduated from college with a degree in business administration, and got a job at a marketing firm. It was a decent job, but it didn't make me happy or fulfilled. It was just something to pay the bills and pass the time. I still miss basketball every day. Sometimes, I wonder what could have been if I hadn't gotten injured. Maybe I would have made it to the NBA. Maybe I would have been a star. Maybe I would have won championships and awards. Maybe I would have been happy. But then again, maybe not. Maybe it was all for the best. Maybe it was fate. Maybe it was karma. Maybe it was just bad luck. I don't know. But what I do know is this. I need to tell you this story, because it's been haunting me for years, and maybe, just maybe, it will help me heal.
People of Reddit, what's your worst breakup story?
I never thought I would be writing this, but I need to get it off my chest. I just broke up with my boyfriend of 2 years, and I'm still in shock. He cheated on me with his teacher. We met when we were both freshmen in college. He was smart, funny, and handsome. He had a passion for science and music. He was everything I ever wanted in a partner. We had so much in common and we had so much fun together. He told me he was homeschooled until high school. He said his parents were very strict and religious, and they wanted him to have a good education. He said he loved learning, but he also felt lonely and isolated. He said he was glad he got to go to a public school and meet new people. I admired him for his courage and resilience. I thought he was amazing. I fell in love with him. We moved in together after our first year of college. We were happy and in love. We supported each other through our studies and our dreams. We planned to get married after we graduated. Everything was perfect until last week. He came home late one night, looking nervous and guilty. He said he had something to tell me. He said he had been seeing someone else for the last 6 months. He said he was sorry, but he couldn't lie to me anymore. I was stunned. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Who was she? How did they meet? Why did he do this to me? He said she was his teacher. I thought he meant one of his college professors. I asked him which one. He said no, not one of his college professors. He said she was his homeschool teacher. He said she was his mother. I felt sick. I felt disgusted. I felt betrayed. He said he had been sleeping with her since he was 15. He said it started as a way to cope with his loneliness and frustration. He said she manipulated him and made him feel like he owed her. He said he tried to break free from her, but she threatened him and blackmailed him. He said he met me and he fell in love with me. He said he wanted to be with me and only me. He said he tried to end things with her, but she wouldn't let him go. He said she found out about us and she went crazy. She said she would ruin his life and mine if he left her. She said she would expose their secret to everyone. He said he was scared and confused. He said he didn't know what to do. He said he was sorry. I didn't say anything. I just grabbed my things and left. I haven't seen him or spoken to him since then. I don't know what to do either. I don't know how to feel. I don't know how to move on.
Former inmates of Reddit, what's the worst thing you've seen?
I spent 5 years in a maximum security prison for a crime I didn't commit. I saw a lot of horrible things in there, but the worst thing I ever witnessed was the night of the riot. It started when one of the guards beat up a young inmate for talking back to him. The inmate was bleeding from his nose and mouth, and he looked like he was going to pass out. The other inmates got angry and started shouting at the guard, who called for backup. Soon, the whole cell block was in chaos. Inmates were throwing things at the guards, who were trying to restore order with batons and pepper spray. I was in my cell, watching the scene unfold. I heard a loud bang, and then the lights went out. Someone had cut the power. The cell doors opened automatically, and the inmates poured out into the hallways. They were armed with makeshift weapons, like shanks, pipes, and fire extinguishers. They attacked anyone in their way, guards and inmates alike. I tried to stay in my cell, but some of the inmates dragged me out. They said they needed me for something. They took me to the cafeteria, where they had set up a makeshift court. There was a judge, a jury, and a defendant. The judge was a notorious gang leader, who had a grudge against the defendant. The defendant was the guard who had started the whole mess. The guard was tied to a chair, with wires attached to his body. He had bruises and cuts all over his face. He looked terrified. The judge said he was going to put him on trial for his crimes against the inmates. He said he was going to electrocute him with a car battery until he confessed. The jury was made up of 12 inmates, who had been randomly selected by the judge. They had no choice but to go along with it. The judge asked them if they found the guard guilty or not guilty. They all said guilty, without hesitation. The judge smiled and said he was going to sentence the guard to death by electrocution. He asked me if I wanted to do the honors. He said he had chosen me because I was innocent and I deserved some justice. I refused. I said I didn't want to kill anyone. I said it was wrong. The judge got angry and said I had no choice. He said if I didn't do it, he would kill me instead. I looked at the guard, who was begging me for mercy. I looked at the judge, who was holding a switch in his hand. I looked at the jury, who were watching me with fear and curiosity. I didn't know what to do. I closed my eyes and prayed.
AITA for ruining my bully's reputation and making him an outcast. I have been bullied by this guy since elementary school. He used to call me names, make fun of my appearance, spread rumors about me, and sometimes even physically hurt me. He was the most popular kid in school and everyone either liked him or feared him. I hated him with every fiber of my being. Last year, he did something that crossed the line. He hacked into my social media accounts and posted some very embarrassing and offensive things. He also sent some nasty messages to my crush, pretending to be me. She blocked me and never spoke to me again. I was humiliated and angry. I decided to get back at him. I spent months gathering evidence of his bullying and other misdeeds. I found out that he cheated on his tests, stole money from his friends, lied to his parents, and even harassed some girls online. I also recorded some of his insults and threats towards me and others. I compiled everything into a video and uploaded it to YouTube. I also sent it to his parents, his teachers, his girlfriend, and everyone in our school. The video went viral and everyone saw his true colors. His parents grounded him and took away his phone and laptop. His teachers gave him detention and zeroed his grades. His girlfriend dumped him and exposed him for being abusive. His friends turned their backs on him and called him a jerk. Everyone in school shunned him and mocked him. He became a total outcast. He tried to confront me and blame me for ruining his life, but I stood up to him and told him that he deserved it. He looked defeated and scared. He left me alone after that. I felt satisfied and proud of myself for standing up to my bully and exposing him for who he really was. But some people told me that I went too far and that I should have just ignored him or reported him to the authorities. They said that I stooped to his level and that I was no better than him. So, AITA for ruining my bully's reputation and making him an outcast?